京都议定书正式生效后，全球共同关注到气候变迁的议题。在温室气体减量大评鉴这场新世纪环保竞赛中，德国拔得头筹。它不只是全球第一个达到减量目标的国家，并且已经减少19%的温室气体，成果遥遥领先。更预定在2010年时排放量减少21%。要想知道德国为何有这番成就的话，看一看位在柏林的国会大厦，应该可以得到一些答案。
Now, these people, the people that you see down there, they all want to have a look at the roof and the glass dome, because this is now a major attraction of Berlin. There are people from all nations, from all over the world. You can't visit Berlin without coming to the roof terrace of the parliament of the old Reichstag.
国会大厦每年吸引350万人远来参观的致命吸引力就是这个。
Well, this is a very familiar picture to the Germans, to have them all walking up and walking down. And it is chosen very much in official reports on political life to say this is Berlin, this is the capital. So you see this ecological dome has also taken a political message.
玻璃圆顶内倒挂着的圆锥形柱子，从圆顶上方一直往下延伸到国会会议厅。四周贴满的镜子会把明亮的光线反射到下方的国会会议厅里。
You know, we are in a northern country. There's little light in winter. In winter, the night starts at around 4 o'clock, so we need light to feel alive. But transparency and light is also a symbol of democracy. And the roof terrace, but especially the spiral staircase inside the dome, that's the one thing that people want to experience. They woke up, and you know, when we have debates in the debating chamber down at the lower level, they can look down and see the parliamentarians debating. And so it's this very special relationship on who is on top and who is on the bottom. Normally you say parliamentarians have, well, power. But here, the people are on top of the Parliament House, and that is very important, a very important symbol of democracy, because people give the power to the parliamentarians.
德国国会大厦的主体建筑在1895年完成，遭遇过大火及世界大战的摧毁。历经多次的重建整修，才呈现现在的样貌。1990年间的几次重大改建工程，让德国国会大厦慢慢蜕变，成为德国生态建筑的重要象征。
Well, the main idea of a parliament building which uses renewable energy in Germany, so we are very interested in new technology, and it is a political decision to use biodiesel to create our own energy. Really, there are two ideas to go new ways.
国会大厦的能源系统概念是自己产电、自己产热，并且使用最低环境冲击的能源。1998年完成的马达热电厂系统是使用油菜花籽转换的生质柴油当作燃料，将夏天的温水以及生质柴油发电厂的废热产生的热水储存在地下300公尺的温水层，到了冬天再抽出来当作热水或暖房。而冬天自然生成的冰水以及发电机废热的温水，则是储存在地下60公尺的地下水层，在来年的夏天抽出来当冷气使用。
The cone with 360 mirrors doesn't only reflect the daylight, it is also used as a natural ventilation system. So we don't need air condition in the classical sense, but the air is coming from outside through huge ducts or shafts, and then the air is cleaned, heated in winter, cooled down in summer, and it comes into this beautiful chamber from underneath the carpet at a constant low pressure. And then when the air moves up slowly, it is redrawn by this cone again. So it is a very beautiful aesthetic element of this building, but also technical. It's very intelligent, and this was one of the main ideas of the architect of Lord Norman Foster.
当建筑物内部污浊的热空气从圆顶上端排出的时候，圆锥体中隐藏的热回收装置会把空气中的热能再吸收回来利用。德国国会大厦南面的屋顶装置了300平方米的光电板，整套再生能源及节能设计的整合，让它有高达80%的能源可以自给自足。寒冷的德国，冬天气温平均只有1.5到12度，夏天也只有18到20度。对于能源利用如此大费周章、斤斤计较，其实有它不得已的苦衷。
I think the simple reason is that the government understands that 50% of the energy consumed in Germany is actually consumed in the buildings, in the existing buildings. So first, I think this is very important to stress, first to conserve energy. That means to build buildings that need less energy. How is that done? For example, through building codes or regulations, that you have certain insulation values that you have to meet when you build a new building. In Germany, I think you don't have a building with single glass. You have always double or even triple glassing. So the main reason in Germany, through heating in winter a lot of energy in a country is actually consumed in the existing buildings.
国会大厦旁的联邦政府大楼以及中央政府办公大楼群，也都采用类似的产能及节能设计。各大楼之间的冷热电系统相连结，成为一个能源互利共生的建筑群。如果说建筑代表一个文明的精华，那么德国的政治中心正以它的建筑精神、它的能源科技，向德国国民及全世界展现德国的未来及愿景。德国在寻找都市及建筑发展的可能性时，有一种特殊、具有传统的都市建筑计划方式，演变成为解决都市问题的途径，也就是举办国际建筑展。1990年间举办的埃森公园国际建筑展，其中一个结合再生能源及低耗能建筑概念的计划案，让鲁尔工业区一个颓败的废矿厂获得新生。
This house was built under the house-in-house principle. It's unbelievable but true. In fact, we find 2 envelopes within the same building. One envelope is the outer one, and of course there is a glass facade, but this could be done just with a single glass. And the interior envelope belongs to the Seminar Hotel, and here we find something special. Now we have thermally insulated glass, so in fact we have an add-up of 2 facade systems standing behind another, and the outer envelope, it's just a protection against nature, and the interior envelope, another protection. So in fact the climate, the real climate for the human beings is on the interior side, and here we have something like a Mediterranean climate, nice trees, nice wood, nice view. Now we have wonderful sunlight in here.
这个国际合作的建筑案是住在鲁尔区附近的建筑师 Klaus 非常喜欢带学生朋友来学习参观的一个案例。冷惯了的德国人渴望温暖的气候，这个废矿厂改建案企图在大玻璃屋中创造出低耗能的温暖环境。
So what about these rocks? In fact, somebody could think that the money was gone until the building was finished. But it was another thing, of course. If you take a look at a rock, it has a high mass. And a mass could be quite helpful. So in summertime, you can store some of the heat of the day in, and if it's getting colder at night, the rock gives the heat again to the interior envelope. And even in wintertime, it is possible to store some of the heat of the sun into it, and it's more comfortable in the building's envelope.
石头容易吸热放热的特性，在这个建筑设计中成为吸收太阳热能的有效媒介。这个创意手法让温室不需太多额外的能源，就可以营造温暖的气候。
The skate model shows how the different parts of the house-in-house principle fit together. For an example, here we have the public library. Then the next part, this is the town hall. And from this side on, we have the rooms of the hotel. If we take a look at this esplanade, it's really something special. This is Mediterranean. It is the scene of a big harbor. And the houses, these are the boats in the harbor. So therefore, of course, it's not axis to axis, but it's a little bit like this, like boats would swim in a harbor.
旅馆、咖啡厅、会议室、接待室，这个作为研习中心使用的超级大温室，还藏有一个大玄机。
This is a wonderful material. It is inbuilt photovoltaics. There are just these small parts of the photovoltaics that are built in two different glasses. Taking a look now at the roof construction, of course you can see that there are different designs. So sometimes it feels like it's almost visible through, and sometimes there are more gaps. What is the meaning of everything of it? Of course, it was a question of designing a roof that looks like clouds. This was the aim of everything.
这一个玻璃帷幕屋顶是全世界最大的屋顶集中式发电设备，光电模组面积有1万平方公尺，在良好的日照下，每小时可以产生100万瓦的电力，产生的总能源比本身需要的还要多。卖给电厂的电量一年将近1200百万瓦，短短3到5年的时间，光电模组的设置成本就已经全部回收。整个建筑以镶嵌式、以拆解回收的轻量结构作为建筑主体，屋顶及侧边都有自动开窗的设计，以促进空气自然对流、自然换气。法兰克福是德国的金融城市，有90%的建筑是金融大楼。在缅因河畔的 Main Tower 是法兰克福唯一一栋对外开放的金融大楼。Main Tower 是地上54层、地下5层的金融大楼，出租面积约有62000平方公尺，约有2000名员工。最特别的是，它是德国同类型建筑中唯一使用曲面玻璃外墙的建筑。
Regularly, if we discussed about a curved building, a curved facade, it's not curved. It's done polygonal. So it's line, 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 line. But if you take a look at this, you see that the distance between the glass is now going from thick to slim, because it's really curved glass.
发展低耗能的建筑是德国一个永无止境的目标。如今，除了历史古迹之外，法规规定所有其他的建筑都要使用达到法定隔热系数的双层玻璃。
The facade system itself is a typical stud and steel system. So stud thermally separated, of course, interior to exterior side. So there should be no thermal bridges, no extra thermal losses.
Main Tower 的2000多扇窗户都可以独立开启，让新鲜的空气可以进入室内，产生自然的气流交换。Main Tower 是一座自给自足、超高能源效率的建筑。电梯及一般的照明需求用电都经由一座封闭式的热电复合机组来产生。另外，冬天的冰水被储存在建筑物地底下。 到了夏天再从地底抽出来作为冷房使用。
And I think this is a special point, but because I don't know any visitor who has been here before in this holy ground of the building.
大型建筑有大型建筑的能源方法，中小型建筑又能有怎样的节能策略？建筑师 Klaus 的办公室是德国官方推荐的新式生态建筑。
Now we are in Menden. Menden is a small city with about 60,000 inhabitants located on the edge of the Rhine-Ruhr-Gebiet area. Is there something special in Menden? Yes, it is. We have the Office 2015 project of us, 3L architects and industrial designers. The building itself is really amazing because it has a wonderful 70% part of glass, and it consists of 3 different parts. One is called the big screen or the monitor. It has the design of a TV screen. And one is the cubic part, which is in the center. And then we have another one-story part, which is a seminar area used for our visitors. More than 70% of the total building's envelope is made out of glass. So this brings a high transparency of the building. What is the effect and what is the aim, the objective behind this? Of course, we wanted to have this effect of having no borders to nature. So from the interior side, you can view into your surrounding. And from the exterior side, it's the same. It's just a feeling of working in nature. This is what we wanted, and this is what we got.
这个在2002年才刚完成的建筑计划，取名为 Office 2015，有个特殊的理由。根据研究，中小型公司的营运期限平均是16年的时间。为了不算长的16年，却必须盖一栋可使用70-80年以上的建筑，显然不是一件聪明的事。于是 3L 建筑公司以自己的办公室作为实验范本，做出了这栋奇特的建筑物。
This is just a small component to cool the water down that is needed within our ceilings. So it's not a regular air conditioning system, it's a natural ventilation system, and with the cold water we cool down the building for the whole summer time.
这个建筑师事务所占地380平方公尺，楼地板面积1000平方公尺，造价130万欧元，约是台币5200万。良好的建筑节能设计为他往后省下了庞大的能源支出。
Now we are in the cellar of the office building, and here we find all the mechanical services. It's really compact. This gas-fired condensing boiler takes care for heating the water that is needed within the concrete activation. And in fact, it's really efficient, and it is a very compact boiler. And talking about the other components that are needed to run the whole system, not only in winter, but in summertime, which is more interesting, of course, we find that we need a storage. This is the storage for the cold water, which is produced on the outside of the building. And afterwards, you see this link, this pipe link, that goes directly to the distribution. So from here on, it is distributed to all the ceilings, and then you can mix it up what you need, some hot water, some cold water, and this takes care for the temperature and the indoor air quality. No air conditioning, but just water.
这些把冬天、夏天都藏在地底的管子，究竟要如何用来调节室内温度？而低耗能却又确保室内环境舒适宜人，是怎样做到的呢？
What are the most interesting components for the functioning of the whole system? For an example, if we talk about this ceiling here in the entrance area, It is just like this, a small panel with a polyethylene pipe. Quite easy to fix them here and to take them out again. And in fact, this is what is leading the water. Cold water in summertime and hot water in wintertime. If you have an improved system, even for cooling and heating, of course, it needs a special thermal insulation even for external walls. So look, this is the sound of an external wall. It's not massive build. It's just very slim gypsum board. And in between we have an inbuilding of polystyrol and mineral wool. And this all together leads to a wonderful U value which is below 0.3, which is quite good. And the other aspect, of course, is it is good for sound absorption because the mineral wool takes the sound out of the building itself. Everything is open, and of course everybody wants to place a phone call without being disturbed so intensively. Another aspect, of course, is the glass. So if a building has 17% of glass, there must be something special with it. Now, if you take a look outside, you don't see that there is any color that looks another way. White is white, blue is blue, gray is gray. And this is a question of the coating of the glass and the infilling. In fact, it is a double-coated glass and the infilling is argon. What is the effect? It's quite efficient in terms of summer heat protection. We have a reflection of 80% of the sun in summer, and in wintertime, we just want to have a reflection of 50% because we want to heat the building up with the sun energy. So this is passive energy use, very efficient, very easy to arrange. And to talk about the natural air ventilation which is done here, of course it needs the gap between the ceiling systems and the facade. Now we have a gap of 35 centimeters. This is what you see here. And the natural air ventilation goes like this along the facade, and it really collects itself on the top of the building. So there is a difference in temperature of about 4 centigrades from basement to last story. And it's unsteered. We do almost nothing. Heat or cold is just going through the building, and we take the temperature that is needed here. It's about 20 centigrades, and it's a temperature in summer and winter time. If we discuss about building for human beings, of course, it's a question of an individualized temperature. This is the distributor of the polyethylene pipes for the ceiling systems. And it's really a small wonder. Looking at this, you just need this transmitter. This transmitter is wireless, and it allows you to have a temperature for a grid of 5 to 5 meters. So you can check up what you want to have for a temperature. And of course, this is always a question of women. The women want to have 2 or 3 centigrades more in winter time, and they feel another temperature, so it's possible to individualize it. To sum up what has been done here, this is what we call a holistic concept. It is oriented to the human being. So what are the needs, the real needs and the demands? It's quite easy. There's an envelope that should protect the human being against the environment, and it should lead to a wonderful living inside. But if you live inside, of course, you want to see something outside. There's an interaction between interior and exterior. So we are quite glad that we live on the interior side, quite comfortable, but we even enjoy the exterior.
这栋建筑整个钢骨结构在5天的时间就组装完成，创下工程史上的纪录。积木般的组装式结构，在空间有需要增减或变动的时候，也可以轻易的拆解重组。而整栋建筑材料几乎可以100%回收再利用。 这栋新式的生态建筑平均造价比同类型建筑减少30%，营造时间也减少1半，整体的节能成效更高。从环境效益考量建筑设计是 3L 建筑师团队设计 Office 2015的基本要求。在建筑硬体设施之外，他们真正想要创造的是一个人性化的建筑空间。
The driving force to start with this development is that we did not want to go into a regular office. We just were looking for bright light, sunlight. We were interested to have a short-way communication. So if you send an email, for an example, to somebody else, it's impersonal. In our business, creativity is the most intensive force that you have to have. So we try to make the ways very short and just relax in our building and have short ways of communication. This was the reason why we started this, to improve our way of communicating. And of course we are interested to do the best for the human being.
不论是白天或是冬天早黑的傍晚，这个生态建筑都是城里一个清透的建筑雕塑。
I think the whole area of, let's call it sustainable buildings or green architecture in Germany has a history that goes back, I would say, some 20 years. And this is what we call an integrated approach. We are not only talking about energy, we are talking about waste, we are talking about water, how is the water treated, how much water is used, how much water can we save, how do we deal with the waste we have in houses, what kind of building materials are we using, are they healthy building materials or they're perhaps poisonous to the environment or to humans. So I like to talk about the whole concept, the integrated concept for low energy consumption and also for environmental friendly buildings. This started 20 years ago.
汉堡市面对北海，多雾潮湿，冬季寒冷。1990年间，德国科技能源局推动了太阳热能的生态社区计划。尼克拉一家人是最早搬到这个社区的住户之一。这个生态社区将资源回收、雨水利用这些基本的环保观念与建筑硬体结合在一起。
This is a rain collector. The rain is falling on the roof, and then we collect it in this green tin. We all use the water for the flowers and the plants.
在冬季酷寒的地区使用太阳热能来加热热水的试验计划，则是这个生态社区的最重点。
A lot of people living here are ecological interesting, and a lot of people we know before. And we have the solar module on the roof. And I think it's a very good thing to use this energy for the heating and for the warm water.
整个社区120几户人家，所有面南的斜屋顶都安装了太阳能极热板。这些极热板是当地的一家热能供应公司所拥有，并且串联成一个超大型的太阳能极热热水供应系统。社区极热板的总极热面积是所有人家需求量的5倍以上。在夏天，极热板的热水可以高达摄氏95度， 会集中储存到一个4500吨的中央热水储存槽，留到冬天再使用。
The house is used for the technique, for the solar module, and the people who work at the Ion Hanse company go in there and look if there something is not okay. In the beginning, we lived here. We often had no warm water. We want to take a shower and the water was cold, and then we phoned and then they looked at it. We always have warm water on the same level. It's okay now.
尼可拉是一个平凡的母亲，她期望从改变自己的生活习惯开始，给自己的小孩留下一个好的生活环境。
Yes, when our son is born, we sold our car because we thought that we mustn't have a car which is making a big air pollution. You can live here without a car. We are sometimes using car sharing when we have to transport some things. I think it's for me it's a good feeling to live in this kind, but I think I can do something for it, and I'll do my best.
德国国民平均所得是台湾的2倍，但是电价是台湾的3倍。然而，德国有70%到80%的民众愿意承担高电价，支持政府积极发展再生能源和相关的建筑实验计划。1990年，德国政府推出1000户太阳能屋顶计划。2000年再生能源优先法通过之后，推出10万屋顶计划及阳光电城计划，10年保价收购再生能源的电力。
Okay, what we got here is a solar housing estate. Solar housing estate means that we use solar systems to heat the houses. Here you have an overview. We have a southern part and we have a northern part. You have to imagine the sun is going here, and the blue elements here are photovoltaic elements and are solar collectors also.
Es ist alles hier begrünt und das für die Stadt Gelsenkirchen. Und wir haben hier oben diese Solarzellen. Und das ist natürlich sehr kostengünstig und das findet man sehr selten. Also man sagt ja, Gelsenkirchen ist eine Solarstadt oder wird zu einer Solarstadt. Und das ist eine sehr kostengünstige Sache und auch sehr schön. Okay.
资深建筑师 Lenz 盖房子盖了50多年，看着德国建筑日新月异，他认为这是理所当然。
Das ist also daraus geworden, was gesagt hat, dass man nicht immer an dem Alten festhalten muss, sondern
In the 1960s, we started with the building legislations called DIN-Normen. So there are lots of features that were written down on paper. And since 1960, these papers have changed, I don't know how many times. But in fact, this is the sign that something was improved, something changed, something was altered. So if you don't take this change management as something natural, you get lost, you will lose your track. So for us, change is really a win. Who stays will lose, who changes will move.
Germany is a small country, the population is very high, we have little natural resources, so there are 3 conditions to think about carefully what we are doing.